Hey everyone, this is At Home, a video series where you can ask me all your burning questions about Hunt Showdown and other topics, and I tell you what I think, part informed opinion, part conjecture. We had some really awesome questions this time, so it was hard to pick what to answer, but be sure to subscribe for all those future answer videos because I really like seeing where the discussion goes down in the comment section. One quick thing, thanks to everyone who has been using code HOME in the Crytek shop. Last time I mentioned it, I said you could send me proof if you used HOME and I would put you in a video. So thanks to these people, and feel free to message me if you use code HOME. Yeah, simple as that. Okay, into the questions. The first one comes from Evan Fishsticks 8010. They ask, what design space do you think is still available for new weapons? Or what unique function would you want a new weapon to have that's not already available in the game? This is a good question because that should be a consideration. Where does a new weapon fit in? Every weapon in Hunt Showdown should have its own niche, and we have dozens of weapons and variants in the game now, so finding a gap that needs to be filled is pretty difficult. We have plenty of long ammo rifles and shotguns, so I'd say probably neither of those. For medium rifles, we have three, the Vetterli, the Centennial, and the Springfield, and their variants, but we're just gonna say three. For the compact rifles, we have the Winfield C, the Winfield, the Nagant Carbine, and the Lamont Carbine. Let's just call that four. For me personally, I think the most logical addition to the game is a slide action or pump action rifle, like the Colt Lightning. Of course, in Hunt, Colt weapons are Caldwell weapons, like the Caldwell packs. I'm not really a gun guy, but I believe this could work as either compact or medium ammo, depending on the version Crytek picks, and that would give Iron Devastator another weapon to apply to. And the niche could be that the pump could technically be shot faster than the lever action, but it couldn't benefit from levering, the same reason you might take a new army pistol if you didn't have fanning. Of course, that might also be too similar to the officer carbine, but you could also give it better handling than that pistol carbine. The pump action rifle could also get different ammo types like dum-dum ammo, which none of the compact rifles currently have. But then how do you diversify it stat-wise? I'm not sure, and there are people much more knowledgeable on guns than I am that probably have better picks. I've also seen a lot of pistols thrown around, but we aren't really hurting for a pistol at the moment. But maybe a packed carbine would be a new and unique one because we don't have a medium pistol carbine at the moment. The next question comes from Don945646. What's your favorite and least favorite compounds to fight at? There is nothing controversial with what I'm about to say, and anyone that says differently is lying. Elaine and Sons fish on Stillwater Bayou is the worst compound by far. It feels like Elaine was designed before Crytek had a firm grasp on the idea that water is not a good playable area. And if it was just a problem of too much water, I guess that would be fine. But the building layouts are so weird in that compound. And there are these little offshoot houses, but all the sightlines suck. And the entrances are also positioned in weird locations because the stairs are in weird locations. It's just a mess at that compound. Like, if I'm playing alone or with teammates that are letting me choose where we go, I don't go to a lane. I'd love to see data on it or a heat map to see if people avoid it like I do. But also, I understand the conundrum. How do you drain a place called Elaine Fish and take away all the water? Well, how do you drain Scupper Lake and call it Scupper Lake? I'm just saying, I know Crytek probably have a lot on their hands with the new map, but I would just scrap that corner of the map entirely and just start over. I also want to say here, I think the Crytek level team is very talented, and whoever is assigned to that compound, you are loved. I resent you a lot, but I also like you. On the other hand, I think Forked River Fishery on DeSalle is my favorite compound. I like that one because every corner of that compound feels a little bit different, but there's also different ways to approach that compound, and each of them feels viable. I like that the main building has enough entrances that it isn't too campy, but the entrances are narrow and restricted enough that it is defensible. And I like that it offers a blend of long range, medium range, and close range firefights, which ironically, you could probably say all of this about Elaine but a lane sucks. If a lane became more like fishery, that would be a good thing because stylistically and thematically, they are very similar. Fishery just feels like the better approach to what those compounds were supposed to be. The next question comes from Arc554. They ask, what are your thoughts on changing the bolt thrower trait to include the Bomblance? I see this idea get thrown around a lot, so yeah, let's talk about it. Most people would immediately say yes, but I would like to say maybe. Okay, so the crossbow reload is typically like 5-ish seconds, and bolt thrower basically cuts that in half to around 2.5 seconds. And for 3 trait points, bolt thrower is a no-brainer pick if you are using the crossbow or the hand crossbow. The Bomblance has a 7-ish second reload, and with that same logic applied, that would then become 3.5-ish seconds, which is coincidentally about the same as the Romero. My problem with that is, I know there are a lot of Romero stands out there, but I think this might make the Bomblance with steel ball ammo a little too good, at least in close quarters. I genuinely like taking the Bomblance. It won't work in every lobby, but it is all around a good time, and its biggest downside in my opinion is its reload. But if it benefits from bolt thrower, it doesn't have many downsides as a close range weapon. I know it sounds like I'm saying no, but I'm saying it's a change that I would like to see tested first. I don't think it would make the Bomblance a meta pick all of a sudden, but it could make the Bomblance a true menace in close quarters, even more than it is. I guess what I'm saying is I'm open to the idea, but cautiously so. One change I would like to see for the Bomblance, no questions asked, is let us bring 2 ammo types and swap them like any other single shot weapon. That seems like a pretty logical change to me. The next question comes from Awesome Possumify. How do you feel about the great injustice that was Crytek not letting the Martini Henry Ironside work with levering? Well, speaking of traits, here's another trait question. The Martini Ironside is technically a lever action rifle, and so it stands that you should be able to, well, lever it. But by that same logic, Iron Repeater should work for it too, raising its fire rate ever so slightly. Does the Martini Ironside need this change? No, I don't think so. Left peak just got removed, so the Ironside isn't solely a disadvantage. And on that principle alone, for balance reasons, no, the Ironside probably doesn't need it. But for fun, I mean, why not, right? Like, full 180 here, it sounds pretty fun. The Sparks gets all the worship, but you know, screw the Sparks. Let me lever my stupid, big, blocky Ironside. I mean, who cares if making it more viable in hipfire kinda removes the disadvantage of the box blocking half your vision? It just sounds pretty fun, and that's good enough for me. So, how do I feel about the great injustice? I am personally and deeply outraged, and I will write my senator. Okay. And now for the best section, the rapid fire questions that don't need long answers. The first question comes from Zasha9539. Do you think the idea of this new roaming enemy/boss with a bounty might have any negative effects for gameplay? I would encourage everyone to just start referring to it as a wild target, because that's what we know it's called. But also, we haven't seen it yet, really, aside from a few seconds at the end of the recent Bloodlines trailer, we assume. So I don't want to pre-speculate too much on its cons. You could ask me again when we have all the details on it. But yeah, we'll see what it is. The next question comes from Quentin Lane 8211. What do you think about adding a benefit to having higher MMR? Currently, going up in stars for me and my friends feels more like a curse than a blessing. Actually, it already has a benefit. It's called higher sex appeal. Are you telling me that's not the case? I don't think so, Quentin. Alright, next question, which comes from Purple Feller 1828. Will you hold me and tell me everything is okay? Thank you. I can't hold you, but I can tell you everything is okay. There are always things to fix in the world, but it's gonna work out eventually, and I like to think we got this. So yeah, it's gonna be okay. And the last question of the video comes from Machine Kerbly 2650. What's your MBTI? My Myers-Briggs type indicator, I assume is what you're asking about. And mine is INTJ, but I've also gotten INFJ, so I guess it just depends on the day. I'm pretty sure I put my Enneagram in a video as well, maybe in one of the gun guides, like the flash bomb one. I don't know what you'll do with this information, but now you have it. Not that I put too much stock in these tests or whatever, but I'd be really curious to see where all the hunt channels and personalities land on that scale. And that's it. That is the final question of the video. What do you think about what we talked about? What weapon would you want added to Hunt Showdown's arsenal? What's your favorite map? What's your MBTI? Let us know down in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe because the algorithm loves that stuff so much. And, you know, if you haven't, check out the Bloodlines trailer. It's looking pretty good, and it seems that there is a tease at the end of that video, and it's worth seeing. But until the next video, goodbye.